Maybe preparing for Halloween, some of us thinking about Thanksgiving, but it may already be time to start shipping out your holiday gifts.
Western Mass News reporter Madison Lasowski explains why.
If you're planning on shipping out gifts or cards this holiday season, you might want to get a head start. The U.S. Postal Service is temporarily increasing their prices on packaging services this holiday shopping season, starting this weekend and ending in mid-January. People making shipments of their own today seem pretty upset by the news.
That's really messed up. That's not fair for nobody. Holidays are hard enough.
Postal Service states the price increases are intended to help cover extra handling costs and that the change is in line with competitive practices. The holiday price increase all comes down to the weight. Regardless of the size of the box, if you're sending a package within 600 miles of where you live, here's how the price bump will impact you. For packages 0 to 3 pounds, there will be a 40-cent increase. Packages from 4 to 10 pounds will be a 60-cent increase. 11 to 25 pounds is a 95-cent increase. And anything 26 pounds or more will have an additional $3 increase. The prices are a little different if you plan to ship express or if you're a commercial customer rather than a retail customer. So you just may want to get those presents purchased and sent before the price goes up this Sunday, October 5th. Reporting in Springfield, Madison Lasowski, Western Mass News.